Hi there and welcome to week 2. Our first class this week is for our superficial front line, but we are adding elasticity movements into our mobility movements that we learned last week. So some of the movements today will be familiar, some of them will be new. We're just adding on. Start in a child's pose, just for a moment. And don't even lay your head all the way down here. Just press your hands down into the mat and really press your hips back into your ankles. And walk your hands back right by your knees. Sit back into your feet. On your exhale, you're going to lift up your knees, stretch out through your ankles. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up. Inhale, lower. Up. Down. Good. 5 more. Up. Down. Think about squeezing your heels toward each other here as you do this. Down. 4. Down. Really hugging your knees in. 2. And 1. Awesome. Bring your hands back to the front of your mat. Tuck your toes under. Sit back on your heels with your toes tucked under. Lift up to table. Flip your feet to the tops. Sit back down. Good again. Tuck and sit. Flip. Untucked and sit. Warming up your ankles just a little bit more. Couple more of those little tuck and sits. 1 more. Walk your hands all the way back. Come up to a standing position. Feet about hip width apart. Hands just by your sides. And support your whole body here. Think about pressing your rib cage. You're knitting your rib cage together just as we learned last week. Supporting through your back and thinking about extending straight up towards the ceiling. And keeping that long line in your body from your ankles all the way up to the crown of your head. Start to lean a little bit forward. Shift all of your weight onto your toes. Lift your heels maybe, and when you feel yourself kind of catch and start to fall, shift back onto your heels. So that catch that you just felt is the elasticity in your superficial front line. Your whole front line just contracted to keep you from falling all the way forward onto your face. So try that again, shifting, keeping a straight line in your body until you feel that little catch, and then allowing your body to rebound back into standing. Taking just a couple more of those. And your catch might be after only a little bit of movement, or it might be after you're pretty far forward. Just depends on what the elasticity through that fascial line is right now. And really allow yourself, remember that you're in a safe place, you're in the comfort of your home, you're on your yoga mat. Even if you don't catch yourself quite in time, you'll step forward. You'll get out of it, you'll come back in. So really allow yourself to notice that fascial line catching you and then coming back. And 1 more little shift like that. Back into center. Bring your arms up overhead. Shift your weight again, press up into your toes. And standing up as high on your feet as you're able to, remembering that superficial flat front line goes right down through the tops of your feet. And then contract forward, shift your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, and throw your arms forward, kind of like what we did with our back or our deep front line the other day. And then reach up onto your toes, contract, push back into your heels. Great, couple more of those. Up. Contract. Actually, we're doing 10. Up, contract. Good. 4, 5, really stretch and contract down. Ask your whole front line to shift forward, even if it means that you walk backwards on your mat a little bit. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Come back into center. Right in your Tadasana. Take your Tadasana towards the back of your mat. Hands by your sides. Adding on to that little catch and reach forward here. Take your right foot On your exhale, step it forward into a low lunge and reach up and then contract, pull everything back to Tadasana. So once again, step, reach up, contract to Tadasana, and see if you can make this as fluid of a movement as possible, really cinching in that front line, rebounding it back in towards your body to step you back into Tadasana. So 7 more of these. Up, step back. Up, step back. As smooth as possible. 4, 3, feel your front line working, 2, and 1. Step back, left foot steps forward, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. See how far you can lift up and lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step back, step your right foot forward. Take a low lunge here. Let your breath even out a little bit. And in this low lunge, not going quite as low as you could go, keeping a little bit of stability here. From about just a percentage, maybe 10% off of the lowest you're able to go here. Notice that your musculature catches you, their fascial line catches you from just dumping as low as possible. And taking a little bit of movement here. This elasticity, you'll notice, is a lot about movements within poses. Just backing off out of your front knee a little bit and pressing back forward. We did some of this last week. Back off and forward. Try breath. Exhale back. Good, 5 more. 3, 2, and 1. Place your hands back down by your foot. On your inhale, lift up your back foot. Top of your foot stays down on the mat. Exhale it down to the floor. Inhale, lift your knee up. Exhale to the floor. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now combining a couple of the movements that we just did here, sit up all the way, come about 10% out of the depth that you can do of that pose. Arms come back behind you, lift your chest up. Inhale, lift your arms, lift your leg, and exhale down, staying on the top of your foot the whole time. Up and down. Good, just 3 more of these. Up, lower, up, contract to lower. 1 more. And lower down. Good. Shift out of your front foot a little bit. Turn towards the edge of your mat. Come into a little bit of a gate pose here. So your hands can be down on the floor. Usually in gate we're up. Ground your right foot onto the floor. And sit back into your left heel just as much as possible, feeling a little bit of length through the inner groin. On your inhale, lift your seat up, turn your right toes, come into a modified low lunge. Right, so my hips are still facing towards you a little bit. I'm not fully in my low lunge. And we're getting all into the groin, the inner thigh here, that outer edge of the superficial front line. Coming back to your gate pose. Good, and doing 10 total, so this is 9. Back to gate. Come up for 8. 7. 6. Just finding as much fluidity in this movement as you can. 5. 4. 3, 2, and 1. Step your knees together. Turn back to the front of your mat. Keep your toes on the tops of your feet underneath you. Place your hands on your hips, chin tucked in to lengthen the back of your neck. That's the top of the superficial front line. Chin tucks into your chest. Start to send your hips forward, engage through your glutes. Lengthen through your spine. Ribs are still just a little bit snug together to protect you here. Taking this little camel pose. Now one more inhale here. On your exhale, think about contracting through your front line to pull you back up. Awesome. Couple more of those. So coming into camel on your inhale, exhaling back into a knee sit with your exhale. Same principle as our low lunge. Don't go as deep as you possibly can in the camel. Make sure that you can feel your front line catch, and then exhale, contract that front line. If we go too deep, too far, then our front line can lose that stability and that ability to retract and rebound backwards. We don't want to miss that free energy that the rebound of the line gives us. So inhale, back to camel. Exhale up. Good. 6 more of these. Chin stays tucked. Back is long. I think this is number 6. Great. Step your left foot forward, starting to find your low lunge. Hands right up to your knees. Right foot tucked under. Finding just 10% of your depth, whatever, or 90% of your depth, whatever that is right now. Good. And then backing off on your exhale, coming in on your inhale. 9, sink. 8, 7. So notice the front of your psoas, of your back leg kind of catches. You'll notice the moment that it catches and wants to bounce you backwards. It's great. That's what we're looking for in that rebound. I think we have 3 more. 2, and 1. Bring your hands down to the mat. Frame out your left foot. On your inhale, lift up your back knee. Exhale, put it down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Add the arms in. Reach up. Reach to your sides. On your inhale, reach up, catch down. In. 4. Really brace through your back leg. 2. And 1. And sit back into your gate pose. Left leg extends out to your side. Get yourself stable, and then lift yourself just a little bit up. I like to keep my hands in front of you. You might have noticed that. Whatever's comfortable for you, and know that if you have your fingertips down on the mat here for stability, that's okay. If that's where you are in your practice right now, just continue to be curious about whether or not they can lift up. Sit back into your right foot, and exhale into your modified low lunge. Inhale, gate, sit back, low lunge. Keep going. And 5 more. And 3. And pressing into your leg. 2. Last one. Press in. Lean, good, knees together. Staying in this knee sit this time, bring your hands by your sides. Squeezing back through your glutes. Finding this nice tall spine just like we did at the beginning of class to find a lean backwards with the entire body from the knees to the shoulders to the crown of the head, all staying in a straight line. Just looking at leaning back. When you feel a catch, when you feel your body want to fall or rebound, allow that catch to work and bring you back up. So once again, doing 10 of these, sit back, rebound up. Feel that through the entire length of your front body. 3. Exhaling your way up. 2. This is also really great for knee strength. 5. 6. Just coming back as far as you're able to. 7. 8. 9, one more, staying strong. 10, great, sitting up. Bring your hands to your lower back. Once again, coming into those little camel contractions. Take a breath here, engage through your core. Lengthen out your spine. Inhale back. Catch, come forward. And you might even use your arms on this. Reach your arms forward on the catch. So arms back, come forward. Back, careful of your lower spine, and forward. Good, 5. 4. Contract. Big contract, 3. 2, last one. Great, sit back onto your heels. Go ahead, take a little up dog here. Feels a little bit good, kind of letting that superficial front line relax for a moment. And then drop to your knees. Come all the way forward, lay down onto your belly. Keep your hands right underneath your shoulders. Underneath your elbows. If they're underneath your shoulders, they're probably a little too far forward for the up dog that we're about to do. So bring your hands about underneath your elbows instead. Start to squeeze through your backside, snug your ribs together. Feel the length in your lower spine, the protection of your back. And begin to lift up into your upward dog. So chest lifts first, then legs, and your legs really should be pretty on fire here. You are working through the entire length of your legs. From your glutes, your quads are lifting you up. That whole front line of your body is resisting dumping down. Take 2 more breaths here. And down dog with your exhale, only for a moment. Inhale to upward dog. Flip your toes over as you come forward. Exhale to downward dog. So making that smooth for 8 more. Just inhales and exhales and see if you can use the rebound to help you get up and back. So inhale forward. And 6. Feel this in the front of your body, pulling you back. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Go ahead, drop your knees down. Shake your hands out. Come all the way onto your belly. Take your little Sphinx pose here, elbows underneath your shoulders. Belly lays flat down onto the mat. Lower ribs are on the mat. And chest lifts up. And keeping in mind, chin tucking, lengthen through the back of your neck. Press your hands down into the mat. Pull them back towards you. And whether or not you remember this from last week, we did this pose in just our mobility superficial front line. Just looking to squeeze the shoulder blades down and back. Lengthen through the chest. Lengthen through the legs. Holding here for just a few more moments. Maybe seeing if you can even out your breath. And transfer some of your weight over onto your right arm, leaving it into a sphinx. You can move your hand as needed. Reach your left hand back, grab onto your left foot. And depending on where you are, you may just have your thumb up, kind of like you're hitchhiking, allowing your shoulder to rotate open and holding your foot, pulling it down towards your hips. If you do have the mobility here, you might flip your hand and elbow over and press your foot even further down towards your hip. Now, as you're doing this, start to square your shoulders to the front of the room. We're not looking to twist into this. So squaring your shoulders to the front, think about lengthening through the entire front of your body. Several more breaths here. And gently release your foot down. Bring your left arm down to your mat. This time bringing your right arm back, grabbing your right foot. And those same modifications here. Begin to press your foot down towards your hip. And then starting to square your chest forward. This is a fun, if you're familiar with hero pose, which actually we'll be doing in just a few moments. This is just a hero pose on your belly. So as we go into the next pose that we're going to, if you find that it's not working for your body, coming back here and doing this hero on your belly sometimes can be more accessible for some students. So just keeping that in mind. A few more breaths. And release your foot. Place your hands underneath you. Sit back in between your heels. Heels are not too wide here. Placing your hands right on the floor. And just like we did at the beginning of class, working through your ankles with your exhale, lift your knees. Inhale down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And sitting back. Again, ankles just a little wider than your knees. Finding your hero pose here. Maybe noticing how it is similar to the hero on your belly. Just the position of the leg. And as you're able to here, you might walk down onto your elbows or all the way down onto your back. Just noticing where you are. Taking a few moments just here in a more restive hero. And starting to use some breath again for a last push. On the inhale, we're going to lift up, squeeze your glutes, lifting the hips up. Now, regardless of where you are, your hips are just lifting slightly up off of your heels. And then let your abdomen contract, bring you down. Good. So up, inhale, exhale, down. These are not huge movements. Inhale, down. Keep going. 5 more. 3, 2. Last one. And staying here, resting for a few more moments. And gently tuck your chin, come all the way up. Send your feet out in front of you. Shake your legs out. Remove the flesh from underneath your sit bones, just taking our little counter pose here before our rest. Start to lay forward over your legs. Let your knees be a little bit bent, your spine long. Belly is just right on your thighs here, so whatever that means in terms of the depth of the bend in your knees. And come all the way up and out. Find a rest down on your mat. Just lying flat, taking as long as you need here, allowing your breath and mind to settle down. And pause the video if you need to, and take a moment. Bring your hands to heart center, your thumbs to your third eye. I honor the practice that you are doing, and I am honored to be your teacher in it. Namaste.